Our pace of living leaves us little time for leisure. Our program will give you a chance to experience the fascinating world of traveling, extreme adventures, hunting and fishing. Each week we will take you to the most beautiful places of Kazakhstan. I've been trying to find an uninhabited place for many years with pristine nature as it was 100 and even 1000 years ago. I visited a lot of places of our homeland in the search of a mythical Terra incognita. We've climbed up the Kumar Pass and saw a wonderful panoramic view. After asking a lot of questions, we found out that the territory that lies behind the Saryzhaz river is difficult to access and nobody carries out any anthropogenic activities there. The animals live their lives. There are no stock farms here. So nature here should be as it was tens or hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Должна оставаться в том виде, в каком она была десятки и сотни тысяч лет назад.
Sometimes you think this is it, the place that hasn't had any human stepping on its ground, without any traces of civilization, and suddenly you find an empty can or signs of a shepherd's encampment. One day I visited the heavenly mountains, central Tian Shan, where the Saryzhaz river heads into glaciers of the mountains of a 7,000 meters height. Hundreds of confluent streams are filling it, and after a 150-kilometer loop, the river becomes wild and turbulent, dividing the granite rocks of Koksha-Altu, the highest ridge of central Tian Shan, by half. Millions of cubic meters of water, which gather in masses at the bottom of Hunting Green Mountain, within the southern Inilchek Glacier, were named Mezhbache Lake. Mysterious unexplored valves are hidden deep in the lake. Each year they melt at the beginning of August and water flows out of the Mezhbache Lake. Once a crass truck was crossing one of the small Saryzhaz's confluent streams early in August and was flushed away by the lake, and no traces or remains were found ever since. The lake has no clearly defined coastline, so it is quite difficult to get really close. It looks like a chaotic jam of cracks, ice rivers and grottos. We looked inside the glacier in order to see how it looks like it's set. If the Inilchek's headwaters, main Saryzhaz's confluent stream, looks like that in September, we can only imagine how it looked like at the beginning of August when Mezhbache visited in. The river passes a narrow canyon for 20 kilometers before reaching the same name Inilchek settlement, comes out of it behind the Tian Shan in submontane desert in China and flows into another river, quiet one, the Tarim. We have divided our expedition into two stages. The first stage was planned in September. In order to save some money, we combined it with Maltaglun's hunting expedition. The aim was to prepare for the winter stage, explore the right bank of the Saryzhaz and get a large cotton canvas tent and a chauffeur, as well as a Vauxhall two-seat Baydarka up the mountains. However, after reading some reports and watching documentaries, I understood that Voksa is not suitable for the Saryzhaz. The second stage was planned in late autumn, but running ahead of the story, I should tell that, in fact, we accomplished it in January. We studied all the information from all the public sources available before the expedition. As a result, we understood that sailing on the river is very difficult and often led to losses of lives. In 1995, a group of trailblazers led by Mr. Papush, a very experienced boater, decided to challenge the river. The expedition lost one participant, Alexei Schanov. In 1997, Mr. Nekrylev, captain of the new team, said before their trip, "Sailing down the Saryzhaz is like visiting hell." This time Tahir Akhямov died during the expedition. The legend said that Jantal Basmach was among the first to explore this land. The story of his confrontation with Kutan Tugroev, his former subordinate, is well known to each resident of this land. Jantai killed a policeman on the market in the town of Przhevalsk before the Great October Revolution and went hiding in the mountains. For many years he escorted opium caravans to China. Border Patrol tried to storm the Koikap Pass via Kızılkapçagay Gorge 5 times but did not succeed. Kutan Torgoyev was Jantai's soldier Asker, almost slave those days. The captain could kill any of his subordinates. One day, the slave stood against Jantai and became the state's agent and People's Volunteers Corps commander afterwards. Kutan accomplished a military unit which consisted of border patrol agents and Chinese soldiers from China and destroyed Jantai's group. Groups of mountain tourists rarely traveled from southern Inilchek or Kayunde Gorge to the lower reaches of the Saryzhaz River. This difficult, 2-week route of 1B category was not very popular due to its difficulty for commercial tourists and bringing no dividends to the sportsmen. Geologists have carried out some works in the lower reaches of the Saryzhaz, and Hydrological and Weather Service of the USSR had its gorging station at Jamantal mountain area. At the beginning of the 90s, this one was liquidated. Also, the camp for foreign hunters was organized on the territory during this period. However, at the beginning of the year 2000, the camp was abandoned due to huge overhead costs associated with staying there. We found plastic casts with moldy rice and buckwheat in the broken tents. Malte Glöns was collecting the ethnographic material during our trip. Visit to Inilchek has added some materials to his collection, and he also started to realize what the rest of the trip would be like. Malte told us that this scenery could be used as decorations to a movie version of Cormac McCarthy's The Road novel. Local guide showed us his home settlement. Next day we set up a camp near Kumar Pass. We planned to climb up next morning, but it started snowing in the evening. We spent the night in the tents and prepared comfortable place for Malte with camp bed and a heater. Wet snowfall continued throughout the night. I had to come out and remove excess snow from the tent's rooftop several times. In the morning our guest said this is too much even for such experienced traveler like him. Marto decided not to climb up the pass and suggested to go hunting near the camp. "340 meters turned out to be too far for the hunter and he missed his chance. Time of the expedition was running out and we had to leave Mr. Glunz. He continued hunting with 2 guides and we went up the pass. We had to get the tent by darker, camp outfit, generator via mountain pass, set up the camp, cross to the right bank of the river and explore it in detail. The height of the pass is almost 3,700 meters above the sea level. The next day the sun was shining and we took away most of our clothes. We went down to the Saryzhaz valley, hobbled horses and assembled by Darkam. This kind of boat is not suitable for rafting down the river of 6th difficulty category, but you can use it to cross the river and sail a couple of kilometers down its quiet parts. It was quite hard to moor and climb up the levee. The shores were very steep. We found good levee near a rope, crossing organized by geologists half a century ago. We saw a lot of argales on the left shore of the river, the Tianshan argale in particular. Its population amounts to 2,500 animals. Tianshan argales migrate between Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan in the region of the hunting repik. Its hunting is prohibited in both countries. After crossing the river, we got into Zhetoyguz district of Kyrgyzstan. Here Marco Polo's sheep, Ovisamon polii, dwell on and its hunting is allowed. Our first meeting within the argali happened within 2 hours after our arrival to the right bank of the river. Sheep were looking at us with curiosity. We found a suitable place for our camp in the forest on the stream bank. We had enough water and firewood. This camp was supposed to be here till winter. We got short of bread and learned how to make flatbread. Vasily, my companion, collected almost 20 horns of dead ibexes. We guessed that there was epizootic ichorine disease 1 or 2 years ago. The beauty of this place touched not only our feelings. Early hunters have drawn the pictures of their trophies on the rocks. Voksay is a great baidaka. We crossed the Saryzhaz river, using it many times, but then decided to shoot the rapids and film this. We forgot about the filming soon, and Vasya rushed to rescue me and the boat. I would not advise to sail the Saryzhaz river, like we did, especially without life jacket. I think that we could have lost the boat without Vasya's help. The boat was rescued, but we lost the oar. Later, in the pile of the sunken timber, we found pack of plank, with several rusty nails, and made a kind of oar from it. We paddled to the left bank, and that is how autumn part of our expedition has finished. We were very disappointed and did not want to film anything that day. Next time, we came back to this place in 4 months.